Standard 5, Instructional Planning and Strategies, relates generally to the educator's ability to incorporate evidence-based practices into the classroom that support students with gifts and talents, cognitive and affective skills. Additionally, these practices are driven by data related to students' needs and abilities and involve collaboration. This slide provides evidence of a problem-based learning assignment that engages students' critical and creative thinking skills, involves differentiated individual work in addition to collaborative work, and features skills that can be used in students' productive futures. The assignment requires students to create a proposal for upgrades to a struggling and underdeveloped civilization in the 14th century. Images 1, 2, and 3 are excerpts of each of the 3 primary sources from explorers during this time period that students read to help guide their suggestions. Students are given a source to read based on their ability level, with Zhang He being the most basic source, Marco Polo being the middle level source, and Ibn Battuta being the most difficult source. Image 4 shows a map and instructions for labeling. Here, students map their respective explorers' traveling routes and important landmarks and resources along the way, in addition to important geographical features. Image 5 is an example of one slide within a proposal presentation which a student created that provides suggestions for how to improve the less advanced civilization. This slide exhibits the use of the AP standards in student learning and expectations. Although this is not an AP course, I use the AP standards as a guideline and rubrics as an assessment tool. Image 3 shows the AP document-based question or DBQ rubric, which I use to grade my students' essays following the AP format. Image 1 and 2 relate to collaboration with colleagues and professionals, specifically in regards to the challenging AP curriculum. Image 1 shows a closed Facebook group I belong to, where AP World History teachers share resources and give and receive advice and feedback on issues related to student learning and achievement. It is a professional community that shares evidence-based strategies and offers learning support. Image 2 shows me speaking with Barbara, our school's teacher for the AP US History course, which most, if not all, of my students will take next year. Barbara and I communicate on a regular basis in regards to which skills I am working on with my students, language I am using with them in relation to content and skill work, and the expectations she has for the next year. In this way, we can align our respective curricula to ensure both rigor and depth of content are being met, and that students have the best chance for future success. Slide 5 provides examples of ways that students' affective needs are met through organization of thoughts and information, as well as metacognitive skills. Image 1 is an example of the daily PowerPoints that are projected on the board each day for students when they come into class. You can see the date, assignments due, homework, and any other important dates or information, which in this case is a quiz date, are given. In addition, the agenda and focus questions are provided in order for students to be aware of the questions they should be able to answer by the end of that day's lesson and prepare themselves for the work ahead. Image 2 is an example of an addendum that a student wrote to her Explorer project from slide number 3. This allows students to review their thinking from the project and the feedback given by the teacher to revise their work in a way that can be applied to real-life situations. For example, some career areas require workers to create proposals which sometimes require an addendum in order to be approved. Finally, Image 3 is a logo for SurveyMonkey, a website that allows users to create polls or surveys and offer them for others to complete. I use SurveyMonkey after assessments to ask students questions regarding their studying methods and levels of understanding in relation to their performance on the assessment. For example, after a test, I may ask which resources students use to study for the test and which proved to be most helpful in taking the test itself. The evidence provided in this presentation connects to many different areas of Standard 5. The Explorers project is an example of using evidence-based strategies, namely project-based learning and differentiation, to create challenging lessons and projects that require students to think critically and creatively. The use of different primary sources allows for the teacher to differentiate based on students' ability levels. And the use of different skills like primary source analysis, map reading and writing, and argumentative writing, which solves a problem, allows for students to show mastery in different ways relating to their interests and abilities. The final proposal can be completed in any format and can be derived from a multitude of options and solutions. This is an example of students using divergent thinking to solve a problem. The use of many different types of technology within the assignment, such as Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Images, and our learning management system, Haiku, also allows students assistance in completion of assignments and in compiling information and data into a complex product. This lesson also allows for transferable skills in the future through communication and collaboration with members of a group, map reading and geography skills, and skills related to creating solutions to problems and defending them using evidence, all of which can be used in future careers and areas of life. The AP level coursework allows students challenging educational opportunities within an honors level course, rather than the more high-stakes AP test-based environment. The AP program skills and assessments are evidence-based strategies that involve much research and training on the part of the teacher and AP coordinators to develop. The historical thinking skills present in the course require students to think critically about history and complete writing assignments such as the DBQ to explain connections between historical ideas, events, and time periods, while assessing skills such as analysis and synthesis. It also allows me, as a teacher, to coordinate with both colleagues and other professionals within my field regarding the effectiveness of strategies and how to better student achievement and foster better understanding of content. The focus questions on the daily PowerPoint allow me to effectively communicate objectives to students so that they can explain what they are learning. This relates to self-awareness and their ability to answer the focus questions by the end of the lesson and gauge to what degree they understand the content. The project addendum allows for student self-regulation of thinking, as it requires them to go through their thinking processes throughout the project and revise them in a way that most clearly meets the objectives of the assignment. Finally, the SurveyMonkey polls allow students to practice self-awareness and self-regulation, and that they are able to review their thinking and studying processes prior to an assessment and connect them to how effectively they worked to achieve success after that assessment. They are made aware of effective and ineffective strategies and can change or regulate them for future success on assessments. In reflecting upon Standard 5, I have realized that a rigorous and challenging curriculum is crucial to the growth and achievement of students with gifts and talents. If they do not feel that they are being challenged and pushed to excel, they may become bored or lose motivation in performing well. In addition, being able to differentiate the curriculum according to students' abilities and needs allows for stronger achievement and contributes to self-efficacy. Additionally, both evidence-based strategies and my colleagues are great resources for creating lessons and helping develop these lessons that challenge critical and creative thinking. By collaborating with colleagues and other professionals, it allows our own critical and creative thinking as teachers to develop in the creation of challenging learning opportunities. I've also found that the daily PowerPoint I use with my students is extremely useful in allowing them to get their minds ready for the learning ahead. It instills a sense of organization and preparedness, as well as an ability to track their own learning each day in class. Finally, work on this standard has made me realize that I need to include more opportunities for assignments in which students have a more open-ended prompt and choice in their activities in order to create more challenging work that relates directly to their needs, learning styles, and interests. While I have created some in the past, I realize that the value of these types of assignments is far greater than more teacher-directed assignments. especially when they allow students to reflect on their thinking processes throughout the course of the assignment.